Drake, the Heisman Trophy ceremony went down exactly like you and I predicted it would. And certainly Travis Hunter was deserving in our minds. Was there controversy? Should Ashton Jeanty, like people are saying like, oh, Hunter only got this because of the primetime effect. It was part of the story. He wasn't as deserving. Jeanty should have got it. Deion Sanders, this, that, and the other. What are your thoughts on the way this went down? Was there any controversy here?
Yeah, certainly a lot of controversy, TJ, and it usually be like, oh yeah, rightfully so. It's hotly contested and competitive. No, there shouldn't be a question of the best player in college football. The Heisman Trophy is not the best player on one side of the ball. It is overall who is the best player in the country. You ask any head coach, would you rather have one elite level, high level, best running back in the country, or a top 5 wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver, and a top 5 cornerback who are the same player? When I ask you who is the best overall player in college football, it's the guy who was a menace defensively that quarterbacks avoided, and a guy who, the same guy, was a menace as a wide receiver who was a big target on the scouting report for opposing teams every week. This should not be a question. Yes, any other year, Ashton Jeanty is right there. And it's tough to have to boil it down to Jeanty playing Nevada or San Jose State. I always hate bringing up schedules, but by and large, Travis Hunter plays that schedule. He's a 1,500-yard wide receiver. Hypothetical, of course, but we're looking at a kid who's doing something that no one has ever done in the modern era of college football, and that's play at this elite of a level on both offense and defense. Should he be hurt by the fact he didn't play defense, right? That kid could never have known he needed to play defense this year to win the Heisman. No. He did what every other Heisman Trophy winning running back has done, and that's played damn good running back. But Travis Hunter did more than that. And because of that, no shot to Jeanty. There is one clear Heisman Trophy winner. Didn't take a propaganda train to give us the best player in college football. It just took Travis Hunter being the best player in college football.
It's such a cool story, too. And I don't know how much you remember this. I'm sure you saw it shared afterward. But on Hunter specifically, and just giving him his flowers, he got a lot of, I don't know if it was hate or just people laughing or saying that'll never happen. But the Old Takes Exposed account on Twitter had an absolute field day when he committed to Colorado and he put Heisman loading as his kind of tagline that Hayes Fawcett tweeted out for On 3. A lot of people had a lot of laughs at that. And it ended up that Travis Hunter got the last laugh on that. Now, his humility didn't let him get up there and say, I told you guys so, and this was going to happen. But a pretty cool story to be able to watch that play out. And whether you like it, love it, hate the Deion stuff, whatever, a pretty cool way for it to all play out.
Absolutely. The underdog aspect of this is taken away, and it sounds so weird, TJ. I get it. The comment section already. What do you mean underdog? 5-star play. He went to Jackson State. The kid went to a tiny HBCU to play for a head coach who had never been a collegiate head coach, and then followed that same guy with his sons to Colorado, the university, Colorado itself, taking a chance on Deion Sanders, and ultimately Travis Hunter saying, you know what? Fine. I'll trust you. If this is Warren Sapp, if this is Ray Lewis, some of these guys we've heard in talks about being a head coach in the college football ranks, do you trust that guy to go play at HBCU as the number 1 player in the country? How are you going to build from there and become the eventual Heisman Trophy winner? Travis Hunter just did that. And so many folks who question, can he play both sides of the ball? He'll wear down. He'll get hurt. There's no way he could be at an elite level on defense and offense, and he did that. And so it's crazy to me that national analysts are willing to come in front of cameras. These $1 million men with these huge contracts and major networks are showing all of you they don't know ball. They just want to give you some poppy take, some big headline, some opinion that you disagree with because it's objective. There's one best player in college football. His name is Travis Hunter. His story is spectacular and goes right along with the Heisman spirit. And anybody telling you different is just telling you that so that you click on their video or try to watch more of their stuff because they are wrong. They know they are wrong. There is one guy who deserved this trophy. It's Travis Hunter. And that's it. That's all. All of the national media that's pushed back on this, it's shameful that they're given opinions and a platform to spew stuff like that against a kid who's, as we know, a very good character player and somebody who did it all, truly all, for his football team this year, and will do it again in the Alamo Bowl as the Heisman Trophy winner.
I've got a hot take for you, and I want you to grade it and give me your thoughts.
Don't you dare say that Ashton Jeanty should have won the Heisman, TJ.
No, I'm not getting that hot. As many people think that The only reason Hunter won is because of the Deion effect, the Coach Prime effect. That's their take. I think that hurt him now it didn't hurt him in costing it, but I think it hurt him as much as it helped him. And maybe if not even more, playing for Deion Sanders and playing in that Colorado hype bubble probably hurt him because of those media hacks and those, big brained idiots that held it against him. And they voted for Genty instead of just voting for what their eyes showed them. As much as Coach Prime helped him, I think he also hurt him in an aspect because this should have been a bigger win if you just watch football. And so I think a lot of people with their big brains and their, oh man, I'm a Heisman voter, so here's my take. Here's why I voted for this guy. I think it ended up hurting him, and it should have been a bigger landslide because if you just watch ball, it was so obvious.
Absolutely. And TJ, to build off of that, we said earlier this year, you and I, that Deion Sanders, this experiment, it's an experiment at Colorado, may not work out. That wasn't a hot take. Most people were holding out on a guy who was 3-9 last season. He proved me wrong. He proved you wrong. He proved so many analysts wrong. That was the right question to ask, though. Can Deion Sanders off of 3-9 turn it around? The answer to that was yes. Never in that did we question the player Travis Hunter. Never in that should any analyst, any media member say, well, just because Deion might not have it, we still need to see him prove something. That didn't mean that Travis Hunter needed to prove anything. He was already elite going into this season. And if he was a corner/wide receiver for Texas Tech or a corner/wide receiver for Alabama, we would not have this same pushback against Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter, Colorado, the Heisman Trophy committee. And that it just shows that there is such a skewed bias that almost lost Travis Hunter an award that was rightfully his because people in America just want to see a good story lose. People in America want to see a good story like this, a guy coming from an HBCU, taking a chance on a first-time head coach in Deion Sanders. They want to see that kind of guy, for whatever reason, lose. And he didn't, thankfully. And you're right. I think the Deion Sanders effect ultimately hurt him nationally, and I'm glad that they got it right in the end and gave Travis Hunter the Heisman Trophy he deserved.
It's people just hate greatness, whether it's Kalen Clark, whether it's LeBron James, no matter who it is, people just hate greatness. And so I think that's just part of our society, and that's people are jealous, people, whatever their reasoning for it is, but it's not uncommon. It's not just Coach Prime. It's not just Travis. It's not just, and you can list all those other people, and people love to hate on that. Right. And they love the underdog, right? Like, so they love, and Travis is certainly an underdog kind of in that path he took, but they just don't want to see, and it's the same reason they hate out Alabama, and they hated Nick Saban, and they hate Georgia now, and they want Texas to lose because of that brand, and they hate greatness. And so to me, it kind of falls in line with that, and it makes sense. On Travis specifically, though, the thought that I have, though, is the comeback. I keep, honestly, and I haven't seen an award given out for this, and so, again, light me up in the comments if this has already been given out or anything, but could he not have won Comeback Player of the Year, too, going down with the injury and having kind of the fall off that he had last year due to being hurt? He was playing at an insanely high level at the beginning part of last year, and he did somewhat toward the end of the year too, but a lot of that gets lost in the fact that they kept losing games. But going out with the injury and having to come back from that and being somewhat limited, and then coming out and putting it together and taking care of his body the right way, and making sure that he was physically able and strong enough to play on both sides of the ball. I think a lot of people thought, man, he ain't going to play on both sides of the ball as much as he did last year because he can't do it and stay healthy. And so not only the Heisman, not only the best player, I think it's like a comeback story for the ages, just the fact that he was able to do it again and then do it better than he did in 2023.
TJ, I would love to give a long, drawn-out answer to that, but there's one thing that I need to point to prove your entire point, plus 4,000. His odds preseason to win the Heisman were plus 4,000, worse than Cam Ward or Jackson Dart. This was a kid that nobody believed in this season for some reason. He was the number one player in the country, a five-star kid, plus 4,000, and he just took home the Heisman Trophy.
Pretty insane. And again, Genty, great year. I'm a huge fan of Ashton Genty, and I hope that he wins his second round matchup because that would just be fun.
Yeah.
I will root for that kid forever. Yep. But I think the Heisman Trophy voters, they all got it right. And it was cool to see his acceptance speech. He's such a great kid. Yep. He literally embarrassed my favorite team on National Signing Day a few years ago. And I still am scarred by that. And I still found myself rooting for him all year. And I will root for him forever. So anyway, great story. And I think they got it right. And, if you don't agree with that, then let me know in the comments.
Going to pop in and tell you today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. It's exactly where I go to tackle the NFL and college football, all the action with FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. Get a hunch in the middle of a game. Check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. Get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Use FanDuel today if you feel like you have a hunch that Arizona State will win the national championship and win the entire college football playoff. You can make that future bet at FanDuel.com today. Today's show is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Right now, Prize Picks is the place to bet real money and get real money on sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less, that is, on at least two players for a shot to win up to 100 times, 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long at Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. So make the holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money, and Prize Picks offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. I've had a great experience with Jared Goff. More than 230 passing yards, and Saquon Barkley, more than 1 touchdown. That is pretty darn good. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly. $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Again, it's Prize Picks. Visit them today to run your game with Prize Picks.